Oh my God! What just happened? Guys. Oh, what just happened? Alright, so I had Zombie up. Oh my God, what just happened? Okay, so. Oh my God, what just happened? Alright, first off, thank you for tuning in the recap show. YAIR Rodriguez just dropped Zombie in the last literal second with an upper elbow. Oh my God, Zombie is out cold in the last literal seconds. What just happened at the buzzer? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is the official decision? I don't even know. The ref didn't even wave it off like it was a finish. It was just end of the round. But YAIR clearly finished the Zombie. My phone's going crazy right now. I don't even know what to say. The official decision's coming right now. I literally had the Zombie up pretty much every round. But oh my God, what just happened? I am bringing back the recap show. And what a way to do it. What a way to end the 25-year anniversary. Rashad Evans, Jimmy Smith, and Kerr Bryant are all confused, as am I. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. My phone's going crazy. Let's see what people are saying. Damon Martin, holy shit. A back elbow from YAIR floors the Korean Zombie, and the fight is over at 4:59 in the 5th round. So is that the official call? Is the question. Luke Thomas, that's one of the best finishes given the build-up I've seen in some time. But is that the finish? Is that what the ref... Did the ref call that as a finish, or was it the end of the fight? We don't know yet. We really don't know yet. I had the Illuminati texting me for some fucking reason. Listen, if the Illuminati wants to hire me for $100,000 like this had in my Instagram messages, do it. Show me the money, but fuck out of here for right now. What just happened? YAIR Rodriguez, I am watching him on the ground celebrating. But if this went to a decision, I don't have YAIR winning. He literally landed a upward elbow on the Korean Zombie. The Korean Zombie was clearly out cold, but was he out cold because he heard the bell ring and was just like, oh, that was a relief? This is something else, man. This is something else. What a way to start our recap show. My phone's going nuts. Caposa, what a fucking fight. What an absolute batshit insane finish. People are saying that was a finish. Greatest walk-off KO ever, says Ian McCall. Damon Martin saying that might be one of the craziest knockouts in the history of mixed martial arts, which I would agree, and it looks like I have to mute it. 4:59 of round 5. Oh, oh my God. What a way to finish the 25-year event. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this real life? Are we witnessing real life? And this is why I love this sport. Paul Felder in the ring. I can't even tell you guys. Wow. My phone is literally going batshit nuts right now. Batshit nuts. My hair is messed up. So that's how you know. That's how you know. That is literally how you know it was a crazy night of fights. YAIR Rodriguez was losing, in my mind, at least 4 out of the 5 rounds. Ends it in the last second with an upwards elbow. Oh my God. When I did the preview show, which was shut down by Trippie Redd, because I started the show and ended the show with Trippie Redd's new album to support Trippie Redd. So fuck you, Trippie Redd. Come on. Subscribe down below. But first off, Oh my God. Yair Rodriguez in the biggest win of his career in the last second on the 25-year anniversary. Huge, huge. This is so huge. This is bigger than Yair. This is bigger than the BJ Penn fight. It looks like he's saying that he broke his foot. I had the Korean Zombie up every single round of this fight. Korean Zombie looked absolutely amazing. Let's take nothing away from him. He had this fight if he lasted one more second. And that's what I love about the sport is that you can't count anybody out until the last second. You could be down every single round. But until that last second, I don't care. And what a way. Oh my God. I can't believe we just witnessed this. You guys hear my phone going insane right now. The chat room is going nuts for Pure Evil MMA. Okay. So let's start the show off with this. Oh my God. I can't even get my shit together right now. I really can't even get my shit together. That was absolutely insane. 1 second left in the entire fight. And Yair Rodriguez finishes it. Let's go to my downloads. Where are the downloads? Oh my God. Yair Rodriguez. You know, I'm literally speechless. So, in case you guys out there don't know, the last loss for the Korean Zombie was the title fight against Jose Aldo. After that, he was away for a few years. He was away for a few years. He comes back, beats Dennis Bermudez with a brutal finish. Comes back to this fight with Yair Rodriguez, who was away for a year and 5 months. A year and 5 months. Why I say ring rust is not real. And finishes the Korean Zombie in 1 second. One second. I'm literally speechless right now. Literally speechless. So right now I'm gonna announce our winners for the Pure Evil MMA Army, the Pure Evil MMA Empire, for the Tapology account, and then we're gonna review the fight. We're definitely gonna review this fight. Holy shit! I'm literally speechless right now. I'm literally speechless right now, guys. I literally don't even know what to say. I thought I was about to announce to everybody that the Korean Zombie won this fight. Up until that last second, which is why I love this sport so much. Let's get into
Since 1993, MMA fighters from all over the world have gone into battle, shedding blood, sweat and tears to prove that they are worthy of holding the title of champion. At every UFC event, as the fighters throw down in the octagon for our entertainment, each hoping to validate that they are the best by someday having a UFC belt strapped around their waist. A second competition rages amongst the Pure Evil Army for the right to lay claim to the prestigious Crystal Skull belt. For ultimate pick-em bragging rights over their evil brothers and sisters in arms. And this week, after climbing their way to the top of the Pure Evil ranks, the prominent honours of the Crystal Skull are awarded to...
It looks like... Okay. So it literally looks like So James, you've won. You've won the Pure Evil MMA. Pick 'em. We are back in action. You got 8 correct. In second place, Tap Out Ninja 101. In third, our boy Barry. In fourth, Misty. In fifth, Chill Zone. In sixth, Maltz World. Wow, a lot of you guys did really good. But it looks like James, Tap Out Ninja, and Barry came in the top 3 with between 8 and 10 correct picks. Holy shit, I came in last place. But wow, what an amazing night of fights that was. Let's review this entire card. Let's go back. Wow, I am literally blown away. Kevin from Chicago said, I thought the fight was over when that shot landed. And you know what, dude? I have to agree. Kevin, I 100% agree. I thought the fight was over. It seemed clear that Yair Rodriguez, on a lot of people's tweets, was the winner. With 1 second left, there's no better way to finish an event, the 25-year anniversary event, besides with a finish like that in classic Yair Rodriguez fashion. Now, I'm not even going to say what's next for Yair, but oh my God. That's literally all I can say right now. That's literally all I can say right now. Let's go back and look at some of the highlights before we circle back to the Korean Zombie there. I mean, oh my God, what do you even say? This was an amazing card. Well, I'm going to start the ratings off right off the bat. Look, my hair looks all crazy right now, but I just gotta push forward here. Out of 10, I gotta give this card 8 out of 9. Right off the bat, my initial reaction, 8 out of 9. Let's rewind. For a second, I know you guys are all in shock right now. I'm in shock. Look at my hair. I'm in shock right now. Oscar, are you in shock, bro? Are you in shock? Did you see that? You heard Dad yelling at the TV? You thought I was a crazy person? Well, there was a fucking reason why I was screaming at that TV, bro. Oh my God. I can't even believe we just witnessed. If there was any way, I say this all the time. Listen, if you put on an event, the entire card is amazing, but the co-main in the main event don't pull through, they go to a decision, people are going to forget about it by the end of the year. The most important fights are at the end of the year. Those are the fights that you're going to remember when you do the recap, 2018 recap show. This is going to be top 5 finishes of the entire year because it's fresh on everybody's mind. I'm looking at the live stream right now for UFC. Paul Felder can't even believe it right now. Let's rewind before we revisit what just happened because I need to digest that. I need to just kind of sit back, breathe for a second. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if that 1 second passed by and he didn't do that elbow and finish the Korean Zombie the way he just did, I would have the Korean Zombie up every round. 4 rounds to 1. 4 rounds to 1. Easily. Easily. And I think the Korean Zombie ranked number 10. Yair number 15. Yair moving up here after almost 2 years out since his loss to Frankie Edgar. Now, that was a big jump up. This would have made more sense. I mean, originally we were supposed to see the Korean Zombie versus Frankie Edgar, which I would have loved. Yair going in this fight, losing, in my mind, 4 out of the 5. You guys might think 3 out of 5 rounds. But still, that would be enough to give Yair an L. Enough to give... No. The rats are trying to grab the bag down there. But enough to give Yair Rodriguez an L, the Korean Zombie a W. If you are the UFC, you want someone like Yair, the new era, right? The new era of fighters, to get a W. And that is one hell of a way to pull it off. That is what's going to grab headlines. That's what's going to grab people's attentions. 1 minute, 1 second left. Not 1 minute, 1 second. That was the official decision. 1 second left. In the main event, out of 5 rounds, 25 minutes, it came down to 24 minutes and 59 seconds for Yair to shine. And that's sometimes that's all it takes in MMA. And that's what you love. Whether it's the Super Bowl, and that's one thing I love about MMA. It's that everyone is on their own, right? You don't have a team to back you up. It's all you. So if you lose, the pressure's on you. You have up until the last second to pull anything, something off. Yair Rodriguez. Represent, man. I got to give a huge shout out to Yair Rodriguez for winning this fight. Let's rewind now. Before we revisit that, we are going to end the show talking about Yair Rodriguez versus the Korean Zombie because I need a second to just fathom what just happened there. Let's rewind. Okay, so Cowboy Cerrone in the co-main event gets the W against Mike Perry. Now, this is a weird fight in the preview show, which was taken down by Trippy Red. So if you guys did not catch the preview show, I'm sorry because I did it last minute, which I thought would be a great idea, which was actually a really good idea because we pulled in a whole bunch of views until Trippy Red himself pulled it down because I used this song for the intro and the outro. But Cowboy Cerrone, out of his last 5 fights, lost 4 of them. And this is a guy who never lost 2 consecutive fights in a row. If he lost 1, he gets back on winning ways. In recent years, he's had some struggles. There's been some things that just kind of put him off track and just kind of made him question the sport in general and his gym. Now, Mike Perry, who also trains at the same gym, as Cowboy Cerrone, would make anybody feel some type of way. If you are going into a fight and that person is getting ready for a fight at your best friend's house, you're going to be like, bro, you're betraying me. I don't like this. This feels weird. I don't like this one bit. Cowboy said that. Cowboy put that in the back of his mind and was able to get the W. Now, huge shout out to Mike. Huge shout out to Ann. I even picked Cowboy Cerrone because even if I thought this fight would go to a decision, I thought Cowboy Cerrone was going to be able to do enough. Inside 3 rounds, 15 minutes, I think Perry, maybe he was going to be able to land some real heavy shots. But all in all, I thought Cowboy Cerrone was going to be able to do more damage, be more active. And that's what we saw tonight. And we saw Cowboy Cerrone go in there and get this sub and have his grandmother and baby come inside the octagon. That means so much to people who have been following the UFC, who have been following Cowboy Cerrone. It means so much to see somebody like that, a veteran of the sport, coming over from WEC. Somebody that never lost consecutive fights to finally get back on track, which is why I said I thought this was a bad fight. If you were Mike Perry, this is not the fight you would want to take, in my opinion. You would want to take somebody that's a little bit below Cowboy Cerrone status. I mean, I'd be smacking myself if Cowboy lost because this would be huge for Mike Perry, and I'd be praising Mike Perry right now. But right now, that's not reality. Right now, it's post-fight. Mike Perry lost via submission. He even tapped. Good call on the referee. Obviously, he tapped, but Mike Perry needs to get back into his ways of finding some opponents that aren't top level, top 10. I told you guys on the stream beforehand that I wanted to see Till versus Cowboy Cerrone. Now, Till definitely has a win over Cowboy, which was kind of weird when he called Cowboy out. A lot of people out there were like, what the hell are you doing? But it worked in his benefit. And like I said, there is a blueprint to beat Cowboy Cerrone, but who can really beat Cowboy Cerrone following that blueprint? If I went in there, look, oh, if I just rush at Cowboy Cerrone, I'd be able to beat him. Not a lot of people can actually do that. Till was able to do that. Mike Perry, on the other hand, needed a win really bad. I think he won 3 out of his last 5, lost 2. Now he has won 2, lost 3 out of his last 5, which really sets you back. Not stepping back much because you fought somebody like a veteran like Cowboy Cerrone and lost, but it's still definitely a step back, whether any way you look at it. But when somebody like Cowboy Cerrone gets a win like this, a veteran in the sport that's been in the scene since WEC era, and I got a lot of people inside the Pure Evil MMA empire that follow Cowboy and are huge fans of Cowboy, I have to celebrate, right? So Mike Perry, wish you best of luck moving forward. Cowboy Cerrone, having your grandmother going there, have her baby going there. I really hope that you get back on track, break the top 10, get back to a title contender shot like you were last year at this time. Or at least a year and a half ago. Before that, we had Jermaine Durandamy, who just returned after her fight against Holly Holm. Holly Holm, who beat Ronda Rousey. This was the featherweight inaugural title for females at 145 pounds. This was a huge fight. Now, after the fight, we all wanted Jermaine Durandamy to call out Cyborg. She did not want any part of that, and we all felt some type of way about that, right? Like, we were all like, listen, you knew the UFC opened up this division strictly for Cyborg. She wasn't ready yet. We had the inaugural fight, which meant the winner would be fighting Chris Cyborg. Jermaine Durandamy clearly did not get that message. After the fight, we all kind of were pissed off. A lot of you guys were pissed off because, one, she had a couple late shots in the fight. The referee didn't get in between. There were a couple late shots after the bell. And then, after the fight, she was like, I don't want to fight Chris Cyborg. I'm going to take some time off. And then she ends up telling everybody that she doesn't even want to stay at this weight class and relinquishes the title, which goes to Chris Cyborg. So it really left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. She goes in there against Raquel Pennington. Now, Raquel Pennington also left a bad taste in everybody's mouth because she kind of quit against Amanda Nunes. Now, she didn't actually quit. She went to her corner and was like, I can't do anymore. But her corner sent her back in there. Was like, no, you need to go back in there. You need to finish this fight. We're not going to throw in the weight. We're not going to throw in the towel. That will look even worse. She went in there. She did her job. But at the end of the day, she quit. In a lot of people's minds, Jermaine Durandamy tonight gets the W, but I don't think that puts her in graces of a lot of fans inside the UFC. So that is up in the air. But Jermaine Durandamy, after a while away, I believe a year and 8 months away from the UFC, she gets a W. But I don't know where this puts her inside that division. Could she be next for the title shot? I don't know. Let me know on Twitter at evil_echo. That's EVIL_UCCO. Or on Instagram at pureevil_. My phone is blowing up right now. Before that, Beneil Dariush getting the win. I think one of the biggest upsets of the night. Let's rewind. We're going to rewind even further back. Controversial, very controversial win tonight. Chaz Skelly and Moffitt. Now, I literally texted Chaz Skelly, who's been on the show before in the past after one of his wins. He did not tap. To me, it did not seem like he was even out. But the ref stepped in, and it's really hard for a referee to be in there. See somebody's arm go a little limp. It's like, when is the right time to call a fight off? Do you wait for the eyes to roll back in the head? Like, obviously, if you're a ref, you're trained to realize, like, this person's unconscious, this person, you know what I mean? Like, but to me, and to a lot of people, especially afterwards, after reviewing the fight, it seemed like the referee, instead of realizing what actually happened, he was just defending himself. And even Luke Rockhold himself tweeted that out, and I shared it onto my Instagram page. Well, it's really quick. Let me rewind to that. Basically, Luke Rockhold was like, instead of the ref being like, okay, I was wrong, he was like, no, this is why I was right. And clearly on the replay footage, Chaz Skelly wasn't out. And the one thing that shows me this is because as soon as the ref pulls him off of his opponent, he's clearly angry about it. Like, within that split second, he's like, what are you doing? And he even went to Paul Felder and was like, no, go back, look at the footage. And one thing I got to praise Paul Felder about, like, clearly he knows who Chaz Skelly is. He wasn't biased about this. And Joe Rogan, after the Alistair Overeem fight against, who was it against? Stipe Miocic, where he claimed he got the tap against Stipe, but no one else saw it besides Overeem, which I thought I saw. He interviewed Chaz Skelly, which it's against the rules inside the UFC to interview somebody that was just finished. So I got to give a huge props and a huge shout out to Paul Felder for doing that. It means a lot because we were so unclear about what just happened. And Chaz Skelly, he was kind of taking in pride, his opponent coming off his debut, getting a win in a very weird manner. I'm going to be trying to get Chaz Skelly. I even sent him a text message. I even sent Luis Pena a text message. Did I send Luis a text message yet? Let me see. Really quick. No, Mike Trezano. I sent Mike Trezano a message saying, congratulations, Mike. Let's get you on Sunday's post show. Also, Chaz Skelly. So hopefully we'll be able to talk to Mike Trezano who got the win over Luis Pena. Now, Luis Pena, if you were the UFC, you want somebody like Luis Pena to win this fight, but Luis Pena, not a great fight to go in there against, because it's somebody that you're on the Ultimate Fighter with, somebody that you kind of grew close with, which means there could be somewhat of a weird presence there. Like, I don't know how fighters feel, but for the most part, if two fighters are going in there and they're friends with one another, there's that vibe there. Like, there's no way you can get that out of your head. Like, I lived with this guy, I slept in the same room as this guy, like we were roommates for 6 weeks or whatever. How do you get that out of your head, and how do you go in there and literally physically attack somebody like that? I understand it's a sport, but you got to realize that that emotional state is still there. How do you block that out of your head? Luis Pena went in there, did a great job, but at the end of the day, Mike Trizano getting the win. Mike Trizano did defeat Joe Giannetti, who honestly should have got the contract over John Gunther, over Julian Erosa, who we saw fight tonight. We saw a lot of UFC Ultimate Fighter veterans go in there tonight that shouldn't have been there over Joe Giannetti. Let's be real. You guys may not agree with me, but I believe 80% of you guys will agree with me. If there's anyone in there that should have been in there, especially like Julian Erosa, John Gunther, like what are you doing? John Gunther got knocked out in 13 seconds against Joe Giannetti. John Gunther was also like a plus 1,400 underdog, the biggest underdog on tonight's card. Why is he signed? And why are you matching him against somebody like this? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Somebody messaged me and was like, this is why, Ed. It's because he doesn't shear llama. And it feels so right, because we even had Josie Shorey Torres on the show. It was like, listen, the UFC is in the WME IMG era, which is more entertainment. The UFC is becoming more of the WWE era, where it's more like an entertainment field, where it's not like the best fighters in the world are going in there to showcase their skills. It's the most entertaining fighters are going in there to showcase their entertainment before the fight and during the fight, which is just so sad, because Joe Giannetti, I think he embodies all of that. But Joe didn't get the contract. He went to a draw in Cage Titans. You can say whatever you want, but to be a plus 1,000 plus underdog on the night, you gotta wonder, like, okay, how did he get signed and not the guy who beat him on the Ultimate Fighter in 13 seconds, getting the quickest finish in Ultimate Fighter history? Answer that one for me. It goes on the entertainment business, and that's not the way it should be. It's really not the way it should be at all. That pisses me off. Ashley Yoder going there, I can relate to Ashley Yoder's story, because at one point she shared her story on the Ultimate Fighter, saying that she lost her boyfriend. That was a very hard thing for her to deal with. She went in there, focused all of her energy on becoming a mixed martial artist. Now, in her last 5 fights, she lost 4 of them. In her last 3 fights, she lost all 3 of them. So, meaning, if she lost tonight's fight against Amanda Bobby Cooper, who I've interviewed before in the past, and a huge shout out, because I've interviewed 6 out of the 18 or 21 fighters on tonight's card. That means a lot to me, which I might be a little biased to some of the fighters in here. But Ashley Yoder, man, I can totally relate to her story. It was finally the first time that she got a win, was able to do a post-fight speech as a winner of a victor inside the octagon, which means so much for somebody that has been chasing their dream, has been through an emotional battle against themselves, against fans out there. Like, that means a lot to me to see that. Personally, like, I don't want to be biased because I can relate to her story, because I've interviewed ABC before in the past, and she is totally deserving of having the UFC contract. Somebody that's on a 3-fight losing streak usually gets the cut. Going into their 4th fight, it's almost like, okay, ABC, we're setting you up for a W. And I picked ABC to win this fight. I wasn't biased there. I wanted Ashley Yoder to win, but I picked ABC. Ashley Yoder got the win, and that's a feel-good moment for somebody like me, who, honestly, like, I will probably personally message Ashley Yoder and just say, congratulations, after everything that you've been through, this probably means the most in your life, and I'd love to get her on tomorrow night's show. I'm going to be trying to get Mike Trezano on the show. I'm going to be trying to get Chad Skelly on the show. Luis Pena on the show. I'm going to try to get as many fighters as I can that fought tonight on tomorrow's episode of Pure Evil MMA. But this one would probably mean the most to me to get Ashley Yoder on, just to express that feeling of release, to go in there, train to fight someone. Like, imagine training to literally go in there and physically fight someone and get the win when everybody is rooting against you, booing you. Like, people in the crowd were booing Ashley Yoder as she walked in there. They wanted ABC to win. That would mean a lot to me to get her on the show. So, big shout out to Ashley Yoder winning via split decision. But that very controversial win over Chas Skelly, we need to get Chas back on the show. I mean, what did you guys think about that? I did not see Chas Skelly out at all. We reviewed it, and you guys can say, because I'm going to go back to the Tootsie, the Tootsie Pop, the Tootsie Pop commercial, where it's like the world may never know, because she was never out. Chas Skelly was never out. He was never unconscious. He didn't tap. The referee went in there and split them up. So the world will never know. Even if he couldn't escape that choke, we will never know. Because the ref stepped in there and prematurely finished the fight, saying that it's all over. Which I don't think was fair, which is why I'm really happy that Paul Felder did the post-fight interview, which is against UFC policy, remember. It's totally against UFC policy to interview a fighter that was finished. Joe Rogan claiming that after Alistair Overeem's tap to Stipe. But guys, this was the perfect fight card for the UFC 25-year anniversary. Now, I tweeted out, what was your first experience with the UFC? I have had, let's see, I'm 29 years old now, so I've had 20 years since I've done my very first interview on air with KC101 with Stone Cold Steve Austin. 20 years I've been following the sport, and the first time I ever, like my father, when I'd go there on the weekends, he'd watch boxing with his best friend Billy every time there was a big pay-per-view. And I'll never forget watching Mike Tyson versus Holyfield, which me and my mom were actually sitting here watching the replays from that. And there's actually a Mandela effect with it, like people saying that it never happened, which you guys can go on YouTube and watch that yourself. But I was sharing my first experience with the first time I ever watched the UFC, which was going to Tommy K's. I'm 29 years old, which is crazy to say. I'm 29 years old. And there used to be something called Blockbuster and Tommy K's back in the day. And I used to rent Goonies. I used to rent, which I actually got a Goonie shirt today. I used to rent all these old school movies. And a big part of the rentals, besides the video games for Sega Genesis, which remember like the late fees. Remember late fees? If you didn't return a video game on time or a movie on time, they used to like $40 late fee charges, which thank God my parents paid for some reason. First time I ever saw UFC, it was at my dad's house. We went to Tommy K's, which we would do every weekend. And I would get to pick out either a WWE like replay of one of their old pay-per-views or whatever I wanted, and then we'd watch a movie together in a video game. We'd get 3 things. And we'd do that during the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'd play the video game all weekend. He would return it on Monday. But I would always rent a WWE card. And then I ran out of things to watch. And they had WCW, which was like underground WWE. And then they had something called the UFC with Hoist Gracie, UFC 1. I was like, to me personally, as a little kid, I think I was like 9, 10 years old. Like, I literally used to get yelled at. Like, I had a stepbrother at one point, and I literally used to get yelled at because I would come home after the weekend watching WWE, and I would wrestle my little brother, and like we would do Pokemon. I literally broke my little brother's arm one year on Thanksgiving because I got too rough. We were playing Pokemon / WWE. I literally broke his arm, and his father made him. His father wouldn't bring him to the emergency room. He told him that he was faking it, but literally, my little brother had his arm like this, and I jumped on top of it, and I literally broke his arm. He was in a cast. But I don't know. I was always pretty rough, and I think it was because I was just such a big fan of combat sports growing up. And the first time I saw UFC, look at my hair. First time I ever saw UFC was renting it from Tommy K's, and I'll never forget. Like, as a kid, you don't know like what's real, what's not real, because you think WWF is real, but your parents are like, oh, no, that's not real. Like you have to understand, these aren't real characters. This is scripted. And I would go to school and people would be like, oh, you watch this? It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. When I watched UFC and I saw that guy's tooth get knocked out, kicked out of his mouth, and I remember asking my father. This was after like watching Mike Tyson and all that, because obviously I knew boxing was real. But like I finally found something that I thought was really interesting, which was the UFC first UFC pay-per-view, which went down in 1903. I don't think I rented it until like 1997, 1998, the first time I ever saw a UFC card, which was like I said, from Tommy Case. But I remember asking my father, I was like, is this real? And he was like, hey, didn't you just see that guy's tooth get knocked out? And like to me, it seemed even more fake because somebody's tooth got knocked out. But to him, it was like, no, dude, this is not fake. This is real. We it said 18 and over for you to rent this. I'm your parent. I rented this. You can't rent. You can rent WWF if you're a kid, clearly, but this is more violent. And at the time, when these stores were open, like Tommy K's, Blockbuster, and stuff like that, you had to have parental guidance. And I do remember them asking, like, you understand this is real, this is violent, and I remember that so clearly. It's so crazy. That was the first time I ever watched it, and that was 25 years ago. Tonight was the 25-year card for the UFC, which is absolutely huge. They did it out in Denver, Colorado tonight, which not at the same arena, but a couple miles down the road, bigger arena. And they pulled off, like, for them to pull off that finish in the main event, you can't ask for anything better than that. Like I just said at the beginning of this podcast, when you have a card like this, and your co-main and main event don't end in finishes, people are gonna be like, oh, it's hard to remember, right? It's hard, you're not gonna really remember that card at the end of the year. This is gonna be on the top 10 finishes of the year without a doubt, especially Yair Rodriguez being the new era. That's what we're all entwined with. That's what we all love hearing. That is a huge win. That is a huge win for Yair Rodriguez. A big loss. Big loss for Korean Zombie. Big loss for Violent Bob Ross. If you were the UFC, you wanted Violent Bob Ross to get the W. I even saw a big media outlet saying, it's a new era. Luis Pena is part of that new era. I'm not saying he's not anymore after this loss, but for somebody to be undefeated, come inside the UFC, Ultimate Fighter alumni at this point, and get the loss to another guy who made it to the finale, who beat everybody, including Joe Giannetti in the finale, you got to give him props. We got to give Mike Trizano huge props here for shutting down the hype train of Lewis. It's a little upsetting. I gotta agree. It's a little upsetting, but there's nothing you can do. Now, last thing I want to talk about before I end today's stream. Mallory Martin has lost to Barber. Now, Barber is obviously a female fighter. But I will say this. Even though she won tonight, even though Barber won tonight, I would love to see the rematch with her and Mallory Martin. The rematch, number 2. Because Barber came in 8 pounds overweight. I immediately messaged Mallory Martin after our original live stream, which was taken down by Trippie Redd and his record company. I messaged Mallory Martin tonight, and here's exactly what she said. And now the Pure MMA Empire was tweeting out to Dana White, we want to see the rematch. Here is my conversation. Here's my conversation with Mallory Martin. Make sure you follow Mallory Martin on Instagram at Mallory YY. MALLORYY _ Martin MARTIN. This is what I said to her. I said, would you like the rematch in the UFC? They definitely won't give her a turn. Even biggest reporters are saying no. So, Barber was calling out Mackenzie Dern. I do not see, especially after the finish that Barber had, I don't see them giving her, I just don't. I don't see her giving her Mackenzie Dern next. Mallory Martin goes, yeah, that's the plan to win my first fight, then call her out. Maybe I shouldn't have read that to you guys. Fuck. So me and Darren have had this, we have the same manager. So how about that? Which the same manager is Danny Rube, if you guys don't know. And I said, Ruby, exclamation mark. Yes, I'm very aware. There's no way anyone wants to see that before you versus her in a rematch, and no way UFC wants to give her Durham next. At least that's what I'm seeing in 3 different sites and 5 different big media members via Twitter. 2019 is the year of Mallory Martin. And I threw a heart and she said, hell yeah, gave me a couple of fire marks. Guys, we need to see Mallory Martin inside the UFC. You see all these girls getting signed to the UFC. Mallory Martin is the next upcoming fighter, especially in 2019. Should she be fighting Barber in her first fight? That will gain traction, but maybe not. Maybe that's not the best fight to have her in her first fight. Maybe, like she said, go in there, get the W, and then call it the rematch against Barber. That would be genius. That would be ideal. Because I don't see her getting I just don't see Barber getting Mackenzie Dern yet. So it is now 2 in the morning. Let's rate tonight's card. First couple of fights, split decision, KO for Devontae Smith. David Ramos, rear naked choke. The controversial win for Moffitt over Chas Kelly. Yoder getting the win, which was a huge win over Amanda Bobby Cooper. Darius getting the win after a pretty rough track. Jermaine Durandamy coming back as the inaugural featherweight champion, beating somebody like Raquel Pennington. Cowboy Cerrone going there in the co-main event, getting the W. Having his grandma and little baby come in. And then Yair Rodriguez getting smoked 4 out of the 5 rounds and getting the finish in the very last second. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I say all the time. The main and co-main event are going to be holding the heaviest part of this rating. 9 out of 10 for UFC down. Let me know what you guys think on right here in the chat, and obviously down in the comments below, but also on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at evil_echo TVIL_ECCO. Also on Instagram at PureEvilMMA_. Guys, you see the guys. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle for me here in media. I'm not going anywhere. Pure Evil MMA for life. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. The media can bash me. They can try to take all the interviews that I set up and say, don't go on the story show. We just had Jordy Torres. We just had Jared Brooks. We had Mitch Raposo. The flyweight division cut. Huge interviews. We've had some of the biggest interviews this year on Pure Evil MMA with some of the biggest names inside the UFC. I am doing a show with James McSweeney, UFC vet. First pick on the Season 10 Ultimate Fighter. Team Rashad Evans coming over with Big Brown. Big Brown, Brendan Schaub came over with my co-host, James McSweeney, for Team Rashad Evans. This has been a huge year for Pure Evil MMA. This has been a huge year for the UFC as well. It's been a crazy up and down year, emotionally, for a lot of fans out there. The loss to the flyweight division really hits me close because I know a lot of these guys, and to lose a job, if your little sister or little brother comes up to you, your older brother or older sister comes up to you and says, I got fired, I got executed today for my paycheck, that shit's fucked up, especially with no reason. I really don't like how the UFC pulls the carpet out from a lot of these fighters. It's like, have some respect. Why is everything such a surprise to all these fighters? These fighters don't even know who they're fighting next. We find out before they do. How is that even possible? There's some things that need to be changed, but for tonight, for the 25-year anniversary, I hope that you guys celebrated tonight just as much as I celebrated. I was at the edge of my seat every single fight throughout the entire night. I hope you guys enjoyed that I brought back the recap show. Our top 3 Pure Evil MMA army. James, also Tap Out Ninja, and Barry. Those are our top 3 for the Pure Evil MMA Pick'em League on Tap Out. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, my MMAnews.com. White Knuckles to the end, guys. Subscribe down below. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, like I said before. But also, if you want to bring us to the gym, if you want to bring us on plate, if you want to bring us to the beach, because honestly, I'll honestly be really jealous if you were at the beach listening to this podcast right now, because it is freezing here on the East Coast. You can be listening on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Player FM, wherever you are listening right now. Subscribe down below. Give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. I'm Evil Eddie, Pure Evil MMA, White Knuckles to the end, which means even with enough, just keep grinding. Don't ever stop grinding. That's the most important thing in life. Keep moving forward. Keep aiming for the top goal. Chad Skelly, Luis Pena, Korean Zombie. Don't give up. One L means shit. That's just tonight. Moving forward. Next weekend will be something completely new. Don't forget about this. Get an upcoming fight. If you lost tonight, go in there. Don't mind. Go in there. Look another fight. Hopefully you haven't been cut from UFC. Ashley Yoder, big. She was gonna get cut if she didn't win against Amanda Cooper. Big W for her. I will be reaching out to her. Let me know who you guys want me to have on the recap show. We are doing recap shows every Sunday night. So yeah, this is the official reaction recap show, but the actual recap show will be on Sunday nights, every Sunday night. Subscribe down below, guys. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, my MMAnews.com. White Knuckles to the end. Save yourselves.